Welcome back. It is Sunday, November 3rd in the NBA. My two best plays are on the way. We only got 3 games on today in the association, but we're going to dive into my favorite picks that I found. And I think we got a good solid 2-0 day incoming. If you are new, my name's Austin. We dive into a recap of the previous day. It was a 1-2 day, but more or less pretty break even because our 1.5 unit play of the day, Damian Lillard's over in points. Did you even have to sweat that? The man had 40. He had like 19 in the first quarter. Easy winner. Tyrese Maxey's 30 plus points. The worst part about that one, besides losing, is that I had to watch that game. The Sixers are literally a disgusting watch right now. And then our T-Wolves and Spurs under 215.5. Wouldn't you know, they end on 216. A garbage time dunk with 6 seconds left is how we lost. Logan's had a brutal start to his season. He's had 2 straight losses on the hook. That's game picks for you, man. They can be pretty sharp, which is why I don't do a ton of them, but I'll bring some of mine back in the next week, and we'll get Logan dialed in. He's due some winners. I mean, the last 2 losing on the hook, you can't do anything there. That's the NBA for you. But hey, we got a couple picks incoming. If you are new, like I said, my name's Austin. Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. If you're watching on Sunday, I appreciate you. Sunday NBA video while the NFL is still going on. Typically our least viewed video. So if you're out here, give yourself a pat on the back. I appreciate you for tuning in and day out. And hopefully I can deliver a 2-0 card today for you guys. Obviously the NFL's going. So there are 2 videos I posted yesterday on Saturday. One of them includes my anytime touchdown parlay. We've hit 2 straight in a row. I think we've hit like 3 or 4 of our last 6. It's been an insane run. So I encourage you to check that out. Also, we have another one where it's like a 5 props in 60 seconds. I go through a bunch of plays that I like for Sunday. NFL had a pretty solid start to the year. I think this will be a big Sunday for us. So tap into those videos if you want. I'll link them at the top of the description. But you guys came here for some NBA action. We're going to dive into my first one. And it is going to be a guy by the name of Jalen Suggs. Over 22.5 points plus assists. Minus 105 on DraftKings. A 1-unit play. Now, I went back and forth on trying to decide between Jalen Suggs and Franz Wagner. Franz Wagner, obviously, their other, star player, if you will. Obviously, the big news is Banchero remains out. Someone else has to pick up the usage. And while you could, if you're like, Austin, I don't have a points plus assist line, I'd rather just take the points for Jalen Suggs. But I see a little bit of value in the assists, and I'll talk about why. The reason I went with Jalen Suggs over Franz Wagner, because I think the Magic keep this game close against the Mavericks, is because I like Suggs' matchup a little bit more. You think about the guys defending him, maybe Kyrie Irving or Klay Thompson. The guy that Franz Wagner is going to see is probably PJ Washington, arguably their best defender. So also Franz Wagner relies heavily on scoring at the rim. Not a great place to score against the Mavericks. In the Magic's first game with Banchero out, who's out the next 4 to 6 weeks or something like that, Suggs, 28 points, 7 assists. He attempted 20 shots and 8 free throw attempts. I can't guarantee he gets that type of usage every single night, but if he can even get 2/3 of that, I'd feel pretty confident in him getting over 22.5 points plus assists. Now, I like this matchup a little bit for him against Kyrie Irving or Klay Thompson, whoever they want to throw it on him. Suggs doesn't rely heavily on scoring at the rim, although in that last game of the 20 field goal attempts, he made 10 of them. Only one of them came from the 3-point line, 1 for 7 from 3. So didn't shoot the ball typically pretty well from 3, but got to the mid-range, and that's where I want him to go. I don't want him to be settling for threes unless he's red hot. Then sure, settle for as many threes as you want. But look, over Suggs' last 4 games, he's played really well. He's had 24, 32, 22, and 35 points plus assists. He's attempted 17, 16, and 20 field goal attempts. And 3 of those games, Banchero played. Obviously, 2 of them, Franz Wagner technically played, but was very, very sick and inactive, basically. So Suggs was basically the second option on that team. Now he's more or less the second, if not honestly tied with Franz Wagner. In a lot of those games, he was chucking up a ton of threes, 13, 9 3-pointers. So he was firing up the threes. He was making them. In the last game against Cleveland, he just didn't make them. And that's why he kind of started attacking the hoop, getting to the mid-range. And if he wants to settle for threes, go for it. If he's not making them, I like a guy that's like, all right, fine, I'm not making these threes. Let's go attack and get some higher percentage looks. And I expect him to get, 15 to 20 field goal attempts again. Obviously, getting to the free throw line is important. That would be cool if he could do that. But Mavericks are a team that, they don't have the best perimeter defenders. They kind of more so are great team defense, but not, a one-on-one defensive type team. And they're also pretty prone to the corner 3. Why do I bring that up? Because if Jalen Suggs drives and then converge on him, he can kick it to the corner 3, where the Mavericks have been pretty prone to giving up those looks. So maybe look for Anthony Black in that corner. And the Magic, honestly, they just don't have a ton of guys that can put the ball in the basket. So Jalen Suggs should get a lot of volume here. I like the over. I would have taken his over in PRAs, points, rebounds, and assists, but I think it relies on him getting 5 or 6 rebounds. And I don't know if I want to count on him to do that. If you look at who he's probably guarding, I don't think he guards Kyrie. He could. I don't know who they put on Luka is the question. They're going to have Anthony Black, KCP, and what's his name? And Jalen Suggs. So obviously you're going to need 2 of those guys are going to guard Luka and Kyrie. Jalen Suggs is probably going to be one of them, so hopefully he avoids foul trouble. When Jonathan Isaac comes in, he's probably the guy that takes Luka. And still, Luka doesn't really go one-on-one on, his primary defender. They like to get a lot of switches, and then he kind of attacks. So, look, I like this over for Jalen Suggs at 22.5 points plus assists. My first play in the video. My second play, we're going to keep the theme of Jalen's going. It's Jalen Duren of the Detroit Pistons to record a double-double. If you have a book that says double-double, yes or no, that would be the yes option, or the over 0.5 double-doubles plus 170 on DraftKings. This value is crazy. I'm only playing it for a half unit because it is a Sunday, and Sundays are honestly a little bit weird. So you'll see me kind of dialing things down in the NBA on Sundays. Something about the day is always odd, but this value of plus 170, I have to play it. I don't care who he's playing. But plus 170 for Jalen Duren to record a double-double, that's insanity here. Does he have a broken leg or something? Knock on wood, that doesn't happen. That would be tragic. But Jalen Duren should not be at plus 170. I'm used to him this season. He's been at minus 150, minus 200s. He's just coming off 2 terrible games, and we'll talk about them now. This season, Duren is averaging 8 points per game and 8.8 rebounds per game. His last 2 games, 0 and 6 in 11 minutes, 5 and 7 in 18 minutes. Austin, what the heck happened? Why is he only playing 11 minutes? Well, you asked Jalen Duren yourself, because he couldn't keep his hands to himself. He fouled out in 11 minutes. 11 minutes and 6 fouls. I feel like they just left him in there just to get that 6th foul. They're like, dude, what the heck are you doing? Stop fouling. In the next game, 18 minutes. It's not ideal. What happened? They lost by 30 points to the Knicks. They were down 30 basically after the first quarter. So obviously not a lot of minutes there. Kind of went to a small ball lineup that can shoot a lot of threes, try to get back in the game. Did it work? No. But prior to that, you look at Duren. He had been really good. He had 13 and 13, 5 and 7, 15 and 9, and 10 and 11. So, and the big thing, 29 or more minutes in all 4 games. Now, 13, great. 5 and 7, I want to say that was against Cleveland. That's a terrible matchup for him. And then 15 and 9 was against Boston. He just didn't get the rebounds. And that's kind of reasonable given that Boston launches a ton of threes. So a lot of those rebounds tend to go further than just being at the rim. There are a lot of long rebounds. So maybe he just didn't get it there. But this should be an easy spot for him to grab some rebounds and score some points against the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets have no size. They start Ben Simmons, who's probably the guy that Jalen Duren guards. Ben Simmons, sure, he can attack him, but Jalen Duren, you don't have to get into foul trouble. Ben Simmons literally doesn't want to shoot the basketball. So just don't jump. Just don't jump and let him get into, and he doesn't even want to get the free throw line too. So I think that's a good spot. He can avoid foul trouble, knock on wood. And I think that he won't have to go out and guard Ben Simmons. He's just going to chill in the paint. If Ben Simmons drives there, cool. He's just going to be chilling there. And when the bench unit comes in, that's Nick Claxton, who also doesn't have a jump shot. And he's just going to be kind of standing down below in the paint. So I like the rebounds. As for the points, like I said, a lot of mismatches on offense. Nick Claxton, he loves blocking every single shot. Well, when it doesn't block it, who's there for an offensive rebound? Jalen Duren. Ben Simmons, obviously, he's given up a couple inches in height. There's another opportunity for maybe some lobs or some offensive rebounds. In 2 games versus Brooklyn last year, he had 12 and 15, 12 and 14. That's a double-double. Last year, when he played 20 or more minutes, double-double in 76% of games. When he played 25 minutes, 85% of games. You see what I mean? This value should not be plus 170. I mean, sure, he could get into foul trouble. I don't care. At plus 170 for Jalen Duren in an A-plus matchup, I have to play it. We just saw Vucevic carve them up, and sure, he was making threes, but a lot of easy shots at the hoop. He was like 11 for 11 at some point. You had, obviously, Nikola Jokic destroy them. Jalen Duren's not Nikola Jokic, but the rebounds were there. Wendell Carter Jr., he had 11 rebounds, only had 8 points. That could happen. Jalen Duren, not, a guy that's going to post up guys and do some post hooks, but I think Cade Cunningham and the offense will get the ball to him. He's going to have a mismatch inside. Just get it up, throw it up to the big fella, and let him go do his thing. And especially coming off 2 bad games, I think he plays pretty well here. And hopefully he can get the double-double for us at plus 170. I just think the value's there. I'm only playing it for a half unit. I'd play it down to about plus 120. I personally think this should be about minus 110. So I think the last 2 games have just absolutely inflated the value because, well, I don't blame him. If he sucked the last 2 games, you're like, oh, it's a little weird. I just don't know if they're factoring in the kind of randomness and variance that he just encountered. Very rarely are you going to, well, Jalen Duren does get into foul trouble, but very rarely you're going to get into crazy foul trouble and play 11 minutes. And very rarely is your team going to lose by 30. I don't think the Nets are a team that blows them out by 30. Also, the points wise, I think you'll see the Nets are a really good defensive team in terms of limiting those 3-pointers. So they're going to force a lot of drives. And when you're driving, maybe some guy steps up and then you can throw it up top to the big fella. So I like this one. Again, if you don't know what a double-double is, I don't know if you should be betting basketball, but it is. He's going to need 10 points and 10 rebounds. He's not getting 10 assists. He's not getting 10 steals, and he's not getting 10 blocks. If he gets 10 blocks, and that's how we cashed Sure, I'll record tomorrow shirtless. That's how unlikely he is to get 10 blocks. So those are my favorite picks of the day. 2 Jalen's. If you want to go to the other game, Hawks Pelicans, and pick Jalen Johnson, something there, you certainly go for it. I want a JJJ parlay. I wish Duren was playing, but those are my 2 favorite picks. Just 1 unit on Jalen Suggs, points and assists, and then a half unit on Jalen Duren, double. I think that's a 2-0 card. Hopefully, I'll see you guys back again tomorrow with some more, with a much bigger slate. I'll have many more picks tomorrow. And of course, if you want to go check out our NFL videos, I'll put 2 of them up on the screen. I encourage you to go tap into those. That's where a lot of my money is tied up on the NFL today. And hopefully we have a massive day. See you guys in the next one. Peace.